Okay, now in this lesson we are going to start our responsive design, which is going to be for tablet views or tablet devices, iPads or any tablets. Okay, so before that I made some changes in my desktop design. You can see over here there are very few changes, but they are very subtle and very unique. Okay, so what I did is, first I was using these 6 columns for this video area, and I felt that the white space in between these two areas was too much. So what I did is I extended this area, this container, okay, to the half of this column, okay, the 7th column. So now it is using 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 columns basically. Okay, now don't be afraid of using half columns, because now your coder what he is going to do is he is going to use this whole 7 column block, but he is going to use some of the padding or margin on this area. Okay, so he's going to add 39 or 38 pixel margins or padding on the left side. Okay, so this is how programming works. So don't be afraid that my design is not touching this area or this grid, it is not fitting perfectly. Whether it's fit perfectly or not, it's up to you. Okay, your coders are going to design like that. They are going to think logically. They are going to add some padding over here. Same is the condition over here. You can see in this area we have a padding or margin. So these are the distances they are going to care for. And your grid layout, make sure that you do something like this and you know what moves behind the code and how the code works. Okay, few more things I added over here is this line at the this copyright symbol, and all this text is in capital. And also I have used 16 points. You can see over here it is the small text size, 16 points for these awards, clients, and this text over here. Okay, so now our document size is 4000 pixels high. So one more change what I did over here is, let me show you. Okay, so in this area we had a lot of space between this get a code and these links. So what I did is I am using 32 pixels away. Okay, so 1 2 3 1 2. Okay, so I am right now 32 pixels away from the get a code button. Okay, this is also multiple of 8, so make sure you move the distances like that. This is really going to help you create some harmony in your design. Okay, now we are going to jump to the browser to calculate our grids for our tablet view. Okay, now we are going to use Gridulator to calculate our grids. Now why I'm using 736, although I'm using the document size of 768, because we are going to leave some margins around our design. Okay, so to get some breathing space. So if you deduct 768 and deduct 32 from it, you are going to get this value over here. Okay, so we are going to use 71 and 24, and let's move to this area. We have already set everything. 8 pixel is our baseline, 71 8 modules, 24 pixels gutter, 1 module height, and 736 is our size. Okay, we are going to download this pattern and we are going to install it in Photoshop. Okay, so we are going to save it, we are going to cut it, and we are going to paste it into our patterns folder of Photoshop, presets pattern. Okay, you need to find it in your Mac, or even if you are using Windows, you need to find this folder. It's in the installation folder, or maybe in library folder of Mac, I guess. Okay, so 736. Okay, so let's name it 736. I'm going to reload my Photoshop to get this pattern. Now I have opened up my old desktop view. Now what we are going to do is I am going to duplicate this artboard, because we need all the content on it. Okay, so I'm going to right click, duplicate artboard, and I'm going to name it tablet, and we are going to duplicate another. Okay, so we have another copy of the same artboard. Now what we are going to do is we are going to change the width 768 like that. Okay, so we have changed the width. Now we are going to apply the grid and everything else on it. Okay, So right now we are not going to change anything other than grid. So just unlock these layers. Okay, and now in the pattern what we are going to do is we are going to load this pattern 736 append. It is going to be in the last, like this. Okay, click OK, and what we're going to do is we're going to size it Control T or Command T, and we are going to use 736. Okay, so what is happening over here? 736 pixels. Okay, so now we are going to align it in the middle of this canvas. Okay, so this whole area. So I'm going to select everything and align it in the middle like this. Let's move to the move tool, and I don't know why it is not aligning it in the middle. Okay, so I have got the controls. Okay, so we have this in the middle, but our pattern is a bit off. So let's zoom in and you can see this is our pattern. It is really off. So I'm going to click this snap to origin and it is going to fix our pattern. Okay, now you can see how I have laid out the whole pattern. We have some space around the design. You can see this these margins, and we are using this area inside to lay out our design. Make sure that when you are designing for tablet or mobile views, you are going to use less space for these margins. Okay, don't use too much of the width over here because we already have very limited space. Okay, so in the next lesson what we are going to do is we are going to use this design, this grid, to design our layout. You can see this is also a problem over here. We have this. Okay, now it is perfect from the top also. Okay, so in the next lesson we are going to change our this design for this header area, and let's move on to the next lesson.